situation that you've just been involved in. It's an absolutely amazing thing.
And it is a real, I'm still, I think, in shock from it though. You know, it does change something in you.
So you had a bit of a long stint in the cells.
Yeah, I think the lock-on was...
Do you want me to turn the camera?
I'll recover in a minute. The lock-on was fine. I was done by about 4 yesterday though.
Yeah.
The heat stroke was kicking in. We were right in the sun. And it was very uncomfortable because people don't do lock-ons and your arm's in a tube. That bit's bad enough. But then your back is attempting to lay flat and mine's pretty arched and it didn't want to go flat. And then and then we discovered this morning our tummy muscles hurt because the only bit of you that can move is your tummy and you kind of wiggle from side to side. But the discomfort is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I also would say here and now to anyone who has ever done a lock-on, no matter whether we're friends or not friends, wow. Just the mere endurance of it, it's a hard task. But I know it's essential. But by 4 we were done, and then I kept saying to Becky, I think I can't go on. But then I looked at the device I was locked onto. It was phenomenal. Someone had spent so much time and effort making this so that we could have an impact. And it was like decrying another activist's work had I abandoned it and just gifted it to the cops without utilising it to the full. Started getting waves of nausea. We had definitely had sunstroke. And I'd said to Becky, I'm so sorry, I really can't go on. And this was, I don't know, maybe 11-ish last night. And I'd say, I can't do it anymore. So I'm unlocking. But at that moment I unlocked, I also then had to very urgently go to the bathroom and be sick. So I shot straight out. I wasn't under arrest. I hadn't been under arrest. Yeah. You're only under arrest once they start cutting. I didn't even realise that happened when I delock. I don't know. It hadn't happened before because I'd never done one before. So I then walked over to the shed, call it the bathroom. It's a bucket with a commode. Let's be honest. And just for the privacy of being able to retch a little. And but as I went, the police officer stopped me and said, "No, you're under arrest." And I said, "Well, we have to do this very quickly and run to the bathroom first. There's no way I can get to a vehicle and make it to a police station." Yeah. And so he got a female officer to walk me across. And then when I came back, they arrested me and took me down. In the meantime, while I was away, obviously Becky's unhooked because she's got nothing to hook on when I'm not in there. And then 2 others jumped in. I'm thrilled to bits and grateful to them because that great big device did not go to waste, and all that hard work of the activist who created it stayed and did its job. But by the same token, I then feel I got punished. Now it takes 10 minutes to process us, as we've seen this morning. Now I know it was late at night, therefore it was like 10 past 11, quarter past 11 when we got to the police station. And so maybe the usual people weren't available. But I'm also not a hardened criminal. They know where I live, they know what I do. To keep me in for 12 hours and Becky, I felt was punishment.
It's wrong, isn't it?
It really was.
It is wrong.
And I will say that in my entire life, and I've had some fairly bad stuff happen from time to time, I have never endured anything like those 12 hours. Never emotionally have I endured anything like those 12 hours. It was a total killer. I never realised it would be like that. Yeah. That if you were so tired, thankfully, that I kept falling asleep, but then when you woke up, you suddenly realised where you were every time. Yeah. So it's like a slap in the face every hour or however long you got for sleep. And then you go to get up and you can't go anywhere. And there's a camera all the time. And then you ring a bell and 15 minutes.
The worst thing about incarcerating somebody is what they do by incarcerating another individual is they don't sort of just incarcerate somebody, they take away your decisions. So somebody who gets up, so you get up in that cell, you might have 2 or 3 decisions, whereas in life you've got hundreds of decisions daily.
And you realise that, so how much liberty matters. And I do feel that because that was my first act that they consider criminal, because I've only ever done civil actions, and I've fought this tooth and nail for 7 years. I've been in the House of Lords, the House of Commons, I've done politics, I've done debates with politicians, I've done appeal courts and councils and letters and research and every single thing you could humanly do that was not criminal. And once I tested the full depth and breadth of democracy and law, I discovered there was nothing left, nothing. And then, even when, because obviously these devices are created in advance, so it didn't happen because of that proposed the proposed actions they want to take. in trying to stop our protests, Quadrilla, but they were applied appropriately, I felt. You know, I mean, they remained ready, so no, it wasn't done because of that, but the timing was made ready. And like, I was hesitant to be doing a lock-on, but if I had any hesitancy, it went the moment I realized this week they applied for the next stage of fracking, and that they're seeking ways to try and stop us doing our job. And then I thought, you know what, you're slamming everything in our faces, and then that was the ultimate slam last night. And then I think that's a way of saying, go on then, you want to be a big activist now and do that stuff, here's what will happen to you. You know, you will lose your liberty and your choices and your ability to pee without a camera on you. The lock-on may be stronger.
Yeah.
My admiration for my fellow activists could not be greater than it is today.
Yeah.
The bit with the police cell has made me feel very much weaker and more vulnerable inside, and I'm just constantly tearful. Because I realised as well that even the way I do my live streams now on a lock-on would be different. That you realise there's a level of joviality you can't always carry with you, because sometimes those people inside are suffering pain and discomfort. There are other ways of being more compassionate. And last night, about 10 o'clock, an amazing woman from our Wednesdays turned up to give us massages.
Yeah, so we're here.
Oh, incredible. And she was giving me a massage, telling me that God loved me. And you know, we don't have to have the same religion for me to be honoured by her faith and the fact that she bestows it on me. She put a scarf on me and gave me her watch and just did kindnesses. And then I said, stop wasting the massage, there's loads more. She went, did Becky, and then she went into the caravan. And that was apparently very funny. I couldn't see it from where I was.
Yeah.
But literally the caravan was
I
rocking.
heard about today.
One very good Christian woman and 4 bad boys. And this is what we've had to do to our lives. And like today, you're running, my daughter's so angry with me because they worry. And so when they're worried, they get angry. And her anger is, you know, I can't believe you did that. You put yourself through that. You took those risks. You're taking yourself away as mother and grandmother, and you put your health at risk. And they're just worried. So, but you know, for me, it's only them that I'm doing it for. I don't get the here and now of joy of family, but I get the assurance that 10, 15, 20, 25 years down the line, this doesn't get the go-ahead and start leaking toxins into stuff that they need to survive, or the democracy doesn't run so amok that they live in a police state where they have no say. You know, you have to challenge these things and fight them, and you risk the peeves of your family and those who aren't quite with you yet, because they're doing it for love, I'm doing it for love, but we just do different things in more different ways. We get mad with that, you know.
Tina, thank you for your actions.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Hey, and thank you for catching everything. We're so blessed.
It's an actual pleasure.
When you think of the difference it makes, you know, that people get to know, you know?
It's easy for me to point the camera and shout at you lot.
Yeah, but you do it with a smile and you ask the right questions.
Thanks,
If you didn't
Tina.
do that, it'd be hard.
Thank you for talking to us.